Welcome back to Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. It's great to be here. We're sharing today around the subject of overcoming the odds in entrepreneurship. Our next guest is Mr. Darrell Bennett. He is an international public speaker, a former attorney, and a graduate of Harvard Law School and Morehouse College, where he was valedictorian. He offers professional coaching, seminars, and staff development for companies, churches, and associations. Bennett is also the managing partner of Bennett Global Media, LLC, a publishing and media conglomerate offering a full suite of publishing services for print, digital, audio, and online media. The book, Come Back Swingin', is the powerful, transparent, personal story of Darrell Bennett, who grew up in Baltimore City, graduated from Harvard Law School, went to federal prison, and emerged transformed with a profound message of resilience. Welcome to the show, Darrell. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much, Blair, for having me on. It's a pleasure to be on the airways of my old stomping ground. I went to high school in Virginia.
Oh, did you? Nice. Awesome.
I did. Warwick High School, Newport News. So shout out to Warwick, anybody that's listening from that area.
Wow. Okay, yeah. So walk us through this story. I mean, so many of us think that, the things that have happened to us sort of define us. We may not have the courage to move forward. I just kind of want to hear, your vantage point on that. Start from the beginning.
Well, I guess what I'll say is that we all have a complex story. We all have highs and lows and victories and defeats, and it may not manifest as extreme as Harvard versus prison, but we all have different experiences, and that's my life. I mean, I grew up in Baltimore City before I went, moved to Virginia. And from an early age, I had a praying mother. That made all the difference in my life. And my mom gave me a sense at a very, very early age that my life is not my own and that I'm called to do something by God, as we all are. And as I got older, it's sort of one of those old scriptures that says the wheat and the tare grow up together.
Yes, they do.
There were things that were unlocked at an early age in my life that I never dealt with. And I chased outward success to sort of mask some of the things that were going on in the inside of me. And I was very fortunate to have an education both at Morehouse College. Shout out to HBCUs everywhere, because that was a turning point in my life. I actually received a full scholarship to go there.
Nice.
So that I would not have been able to go without financial assistance. And so that relieved the financial burden for me to go, and I was able to pursue money there and then go to Harvard Law School directly afterwards, which was a huge blessing. And afterwards I came to New York. I was teaching, writing books, doing seminars, and I found myself about a year later in federal prison. Now, when you read the story, you'll get some of the more intricate parts. But the gist of it is, excuse me, sorry, we're in the street in New York. The gist of it is that no matter what you go through, you can come back.
Sure.
That's the gist. And I wrote this story because I wanted people to realize that you're not just one thing. And I think society has a way, we all do, and I think society, we all have a way of wanting to reduce and put people into a box, black, white, tall, short. We tend to just want to say, this is that person, but the complexity of my story really goes to show how we all have many experiences. And I'll just end with this, Blair, that you are not your behavior. The essence of who you are is rooted in something deeper, and that is that you are a child of God, and that there is greatness on the inside of you, and that if you can believe that, then you can come out of very dark places. And that's my story.
Wow. Yeah, I'm a believer. Absolutely. So what is it that you're doing now? You're just traveling and speaking, just writing, or are you not been practicing law at all, or?
No. So I will be able to be reinstated into the bar to practice law after a period of time.
Okay. Okay.
Right now, what I do is, and I didn't even realize the term for it, Blair, to be quite honest, until maybe about a month or so ago. My mentor was kind of working with me through this, but I develop people. I mean, this is what I do. I didn't even know that that's the term for it, but professional and personal development. I help people with I'm not just a motivational speaker, because, you can go and hear somebody speak well.
I was going to say, are you working more so in the life coach capacity, or are you working just in the public speaking capacity? But it sounds like you're doing a little bit of both.
It's a little bit of both. I really don't even like that word, life coaching. I help people with the blueprint.
Okay.
So I'm not just a teacher. I give the blueprint for how one can be a success.
Okay. Okay.
How one can come out of whatever it is that they're going through and be great.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is, we all have failures and defeats. And the question is, how do we get out of it? How do we rebuild? And so when I wrote the book and I published it, what I found was a lot of the people that reached out to me were reaching out because they're like, look, I have a problem too. Whether it's a medical situation or some sort of relationship failure or the business isn't working. And I don't know the tangible tips and tools and resources that I need so I can begin to rebuild my life. And so that's where I come in.
Right. I think there can never be too many of you. Because you never know when you're going to need a Darrell Bennett who's had the experiences that you've had to be able to share the insights that you share. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so how can you be reached and folks that might be looking to access your book, how do we do that?
So I can be reached on DarrellBennett.com. That's DarrellBennett. And we have quite a big web presence. I can also be reached on Bennett Global Media. That's the arm where we publish other people's books. And then, of course, through all the social media platforms. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, what's the other? YouTube. There's a bunch of them. But they're all pretty much Darrell Bennett or Darrell Bennett Jr. Okay.
And I assume your travel schedule might be posted on DarrellBennett.com for folks that might be wanting to hear you speak?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and what we do is when we do things, we typically make sure that it gets uploaded. And I would encourage people to get the book. If you are going through some sort of issue and you're trying to figure out how to get out, because like I said, I had a pastor that taught me that, inspiration without revelation will leave you excited, but you're still in the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
So this book is not, it's inspiration, but it's not just that. It's actually revelatory wisdom and how I began to rebuild the pieces of my life. And you can as well, no matter what it is that you've gone through. So I would encourage, it's a perfect gift for, someone that that's going through some sort of challenge.
Come Back Swinging. I love the title.
Yes,
Darrell, I want to thank you again for coming on to the show today. I hope to have you back and look forward to hearing about your future. I'm sure you're going to continue to write, so I know there'll be more books. But I hope to have you back.